Hello and welcome to another edition of Motor Cars Enthusiasts. Right off the bat on today's show, this is Elio Motors' first go round at building an automobile. Now you've probably seen this vehicle in the past, but this little vehicle was supposedly going into production in the year of 2015. Well, that never happened, and then they delayed it another time, and now they're delaying it a third time into the year 2018. According to the folks over at Autoline.tv, this company is hemorrhaging money at a very rapid rate, and the sheer fact that they have very little money in the coffers may make that 2018 production release date look like it may be in question, even though they've got over 60,000 people who have plunked down their cash to own one of these machines. Now, these vehicles aren't very expensive, just a touch over $7,000 a piece, and I have to say I'd probably own one of these things. I think it looks pretty doggone cool. Now, that being said, I'm really hoping this company gets up on its feet and the production can start on this deal, but it does look to be a little bit grim. Next up on the list, you may know this particular machine, the brand new WRC weapon of choice for the folks over at Toyota and Gazoo Racing. But the head of Gazoo Racing, in a nice little conversation with the folks over at Autocar, is claiming that not only are they the head of the WRC team, they've built a lot of endurance race cars, not to mention even off-road cars like for Dakar. But apparently they're going to become the new performance arm of Toyota, and they're going to have a brand new high-performance Yaris that's going to show off at the Geneva Motor Show. And it may get the naming rights for these machines as well. Maybe the Gazoo Yaris may be debuting in Geneva. We'll have to wait a couple, 3 weeks before we know that particular information. And also talking about that this could be the situation, the upcoming Supra. I know it's not going to look like this particular machine, this concept machine from years back, but could it be called the Gazoo Supra? We're going to have to wait and see on this particular situation. Hopefully we'll know a whole lot more come the Geneva Motor Show. Next up on the list, you may have seen this particular photograph that plopped all over the old internets over the past several days. This is an Instagram post from a person that is known as Wapom. Now, they posted this particular photograph of what they're calling the P14 / brand new 720 for the folks over McLaren. And what it kind of looks like is maybe a pre-production showing off of this particular machine in front of a lot of McLaren faithful ahead of the Geneva Motor Show where this vehicle is going to debut. Now, the real trick is this vehicle looks a lot like the vehicle called the P14 that has been testing all over the place. In fact, the past several times we've seen it in teaser shots, or I guess I should say a pre-production testing shots, that the vehicle looks an awful lot like this with very little camo and with some of the photographs I've actually laid eyes on. Now, whether this is the real deal or just some sort of a marketing stunt for the folks over McLaren, or whether this person came across this photograph that they claim they did not take and would not say where it was taken. So it'll be interesting to see. The Geneva Motor Show is only a handful of weeks away. We should know some concrete information come then. Next up on the list, more teaser stuff. This coming from the folks over at Dodge, Fiat Chrysler Automobiles, and SRT. This was the newest teaser shot at the end of the newest video for the brand new SRT Hellcat Demon. Now, this particular vehicle that they showed off got a couple little extras in there, including brand new tires, which you can't really see in this particular photograph. But if you check it out on the Facebook page, the link's down in the show notes, you can check out that. But it's got some massive, what almost looks like drag radials on all four corners of this machine, including the fact that they got the Demon logo on the sidewall, which is pretty cool indeed. But the other little interesting thing is if you zoom in on that license plate, what is that supposed to mean? Because the hashtag 2576 at 35 has got the internet's all abuzz at what this could possibly mean. A lot of people may think that it may cost you around $2,576 for a 35-month loan, meaning this car is going to cost you well upwards of around $100,000. There's a lot of other ideas, and if any of you have any ideas, because I'm basically as dumb as they come, and I could not come up with anything about what this could possibly mean. Write it down in the show notes, and maybe we'll discuss it in the next program. But it is kind of intriguing and interesting to think about, nonetheless. Next up on the list, you may know this particular machine, Ford's brand new racer, Ford GT. In fact, this vehicle made its official debut and official laps in anger the weekend, I should say this weekend, the year before, in 2016, at the 24 Hours of Daytona. Now, their first shot at the 24 Hours of Daytona was kind of not very good. Now, the trick was this was a brand new race car, and a lot of the development had yet to be done, even though Ford had a lot of high hopes, thinking they could come in and win this race, even though I thought there was no way that they were going to win this race. A lot of mechanical issues meant they finished well down the pack. But fast forward only 5 months later, and they go in and sweep the 24 Hours of Le Mans, which I thought was a huge coup for the group, because I didn't think they had any chance in hell of actually pulling that off. Well, now, the day of the taping of this program was the 2017 24 Hours of Daytona, and Ford has done it. Chip Ganassi Racing and their lineup of drivers actually took the win, and it was a barn burner of a race. In fact, the last 20 minutes of the event, these cars were nose to tail in the top 4 positions. That being the Ford GT that finished first, the brand new mid-engine 911 Porsche that finished up in second, the new 488 Ferrari finished in third, and the factory Corvette team finished in 4th position. Big win for the folks over at Ford, and they are definitely checking off the bucket list of races that they want to win in the endurance world. And the top step of the podium for this endurance race was won by the brand new Cadillac racing team that was actually run by Wayne Taylor Racing. Now, Wayne Taylor actually won the 24 Hours of Daytona way back in the early 2000s when he was actually driving for another team, but he's since had his own team that has yet to win this particular event until the day of the taping of this program, that he actually finished 4th as a team owner 4 separate times until this day, when thanks to his sons Jordan and Ricky, along with big name drivers, that being Max Angelelli, the Axe, the Italian born sports car driver, who actually raced his final endurance car race today in this particular machine, along with 4-time NASCAR champion and recently retired NASCAR driver Jeff Gordon, who got his first Rolex watch here at the 24 Hours of Daytona. It was a big win for Wayne Taylor Racing. It was really neat to see, even though it was a little bit controversial as a couple of the cars actually got together, that being Wayne Taylor Racing Automobile and another team in the late races that almost looked like they should have been penalized for that, but were not. It was a barn burner of a 24 Hours of Daytona, one of the best races I've seen. Thankfully, I was a little bit ill for most of this weekend. In fact, still a little bit ill, which meant that I couldn't sleep and got to watch the bulk of the race in its entirety, which was pretty doggone entertaining. And that's all there was that I thought was worth talking about for this edition of Motor Cars Enthusiast. Don't forget to like us over on the Facebook page. The link's down in the show notes. Also, if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, you can do so at any time and get the first dibs in the brand new shows as soon as they come out. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again real soon.